say. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I think that the reseeding, the best of threes, I've said throughout, either one of those or they're all been changed to have both of them. We're now in a position where we've ramped up to a perfect playoff. And coming into this event, a lot of people ask who are my top four. Well, the fact of the matter is, I can tell you my top four. In previous majors, there was no guarantee that they would make it because they play each other in the quarterfinals. They might have to go into an elimination match because of the randomness of the seeding system, the Swiss system. Now, I can tell you right now, the four I've called are still in, and they should be the ones that make it because it all makes sense.
And what makes me so happy as well is the only upsets, quote-unquote upsets, are from teams that severely underperformed. It wasn't a surprise win that everyone started ripping apart. Instead, it was a team not meeting the level they needed to be at.
It seems as well like Renegade is a prime example of adapting to today's game. They're actually adjusting, making sure they bring the walks out. One thing I noticed as well, these guys, they kind of moved away from the double walk setup, which most teams haven't. If you look at NIP, you look at Renegades, they've had great success this tournament because they're reducing the all factor and relying on their stars which carry them through. JKS hasn't picked up the second field barely at all. He's been lights out for them. So I think that's a big take.
Yeah, of course, tomorrow Renegades will be taking on MIDR.
Looking back at it, no one would have known that, right? We hear all kinds of times that, you know, famously by Power in 2014, we heard at this event as well with certain teams' complexity, although they did show signs of it. They're amazing in practice. They're so good in practice. And it never translates because there's a lot of different factors that go into those games.
Yeah.
We are seeing it from them, and it's really nice to see them have such a great run. It's really nice to see them, first off, make it into the Legend stage because already they've avoided the Minor, which has corrupted them in the past of going to other events. Yeah. So I think it's a great step for this organization, and it's nice to see some hard work and dedication from some of those players, long-timers, pay off.
It's about time at this stage
is
as well,
about
right?
time.
They've been working for a long time here, just trying to get the right recipe. They've always had great players, but never quite everything as a full unit. I feel like this is the first team we've had in about 2 years from them that actually looks deadly, and they could actually make it to a semi-final. That's the crazy thing.
They could, and on the other side of the court, you have Ents, who, admittedly, they performed, that's for sure, but it was through a trial of fire and punishment. I mean, these guys, they were, what was it, 0-2 down, 0-7 down. It was, to overcome that is testament to their diversity.
I feel like they potentially overperformed in previous segments of tournaments. Like the thing is, like, we got so hyped about them because they're doing so well at lower tier tournaments. We weren't really sure what they could do against elite teams.
Yeah, and with Alu and the team, and certainly some of the personalities behind it, I think it was romanticized because of that. It wasn't even just that, like, oh, we overhyped them. It was like we really wanted to believe as well. So they were kind of a victim of that.
But they did perform very well under pressure. They've got one of the youngest teams available here. Players that are 16 years old playing at this stage of the tournament and actually 0-2 down, recovering to a 3-2 to make to this segment. That's pretty legendary stuff. That's really awesome to see them bounce back and have the mental fortitude to actually make it through.
Yeah, they'll be taking on Liquid. Now, of course, Liquid, a conversation in their own right.
That's a dicey one.
Would you say that's a different kettle of fish to the opponents you were just referring to?
I would say absolutely.
Yeah.
They're looking for me, like, they're in the conversation to take the whole thing home. Like, they're in the top two. It's Astralis and them in my book who are going to be winning this thing. Liquid, I feel like they're individual power and the great synergy they had has slowed their game down a little bit as well, focusing more on a bit of synergy and strategy. I feel like Ents are a great team, but they're not quite ready to take down those boys yet.
Stewie 2K joining the roster as well, Matt. From what you've seen, how are you feeling?
So interestingly, I have some doubts about certain things. I think that slowing their game down is fine, but I think they still may not have figured out when the best time to use that is. It's like having a new trick. They want to show it off. They want to show everyone that they can do it, but sometimes it's not the appropriate place. And I think in some games they were actually a victim of playing a little bit too slow, where they were certainly better than their opponent. You know, against Astralis, if you want to slow it down and try and play tactics because you can't win the duels, great. Awesome that they have that. That might be a key to victory for them against Astralis. But if you're playing against a team that actually is going to just sit and wait, and they're the underdog, and you don't just use your speed and explosive skill, it could cost you. So I'm pleased so far with Liquid, but I do have a slight caveat. And I'll just throw in, Naf said he feels less confident at this event, this major, than he did in London, and I think that might be a good thing because I think they got overconfident having beaten Astralis in the group stage there.
Absolutely, and of course confidence can be a big factor for Ents if they want to go ahead and overcome them. That of course is coming up later today, as is FaZe Navi. We start our champion stage with FaZe Navi. Now before we get into any of that, Katowice is special for the Counter-Strike, it's special for the crowd, and it's special to a lot of people. Myself, of course, feel like I had a bit of a vault in my career as I stepped onto the Katowice soil, and indeed, many players feel the same. Let's hear what they're saying, and we'll get this show started.
IEM Katowice is very special to me and to I think most players, just because like it's always been known as that like big IEM event, like with the biggest crowd.
It just brings back like a lot of memories, I guess, of like the old times like in CS like 4 years ago when Fnatic were really like #1 and Nip were #2.
Katowice IEM is special to me because I believe that it is one of the biggest tournaments in CSGO.
Everybody who playing the IEM Katowice is happy.
Being here brings back a lot of those memories. Back then we didn't do so well, but you know, it's still like kind of really cool to be here because I've been here like multiple years now.
Katowice is really special. I mean, thanks to the Spodek Arena, I would say, because it's really amazing and it's a dream as a player to play here in the arena.
The crowd, the Spodek Arena, and yeah, just the atmosphere you have around this tournament.
I'm happy to be here since it's my first major and the first major of 3 of my teammates.
The olden days, like 1.6, and even the early CSGO days, we didn't have the biggest venue, but now we have the big stage, and it's pretty much filled, and all the crowd is really, really loud.
The audience, it's just the atmosphere surrounding the whole tournament is what makes it so incredible. So it's just going to be an honor to be playing here again.
I'm sure there's a lot of opinions as well here at the caster desk, or rather the analyst desk, excuse me. The casters are going to take their seats as they prepare for what will likely be a breathtaking best of 3. I'm your host Alex Machine Richardson, and I am joined at this gorgeous desk by some gorgeous people, Jacob Pimpfinicker and of course Chance Sponge Birchall. They used to go ahead and frag, and now they're just here to go ahead and talk about the frag.
Look, Alex, I've completely given up on the idea, but I know Jacob, he's flirting with it. He occasionally thinks about it. You see him glaring off into the distance, thinking about picking up the mouse and keyboard again. I see it.
Yeah, there's some longing, and I'm sure events like this, Katowice, it does ignite a bit of a spark for that.
It brings out the best in you, right? Everyone plays this game to be on that stage, to have that feeling sort of to play in front of a big crowd. And yes, you're right, Chad. You know, I think you can agree to that as well. When you see this, when you're in a stadium like this, you want to play, you want to be on that stage.
Yeah, this is what it's all about, that's for sure. And I think when you look at that speed session and you have Alexi B there, oh, this is the first time. Mate, you're going to feel so many more emotions than what you just conveyed when you walk out to those legions of fans screaming.
That's my theory. I mean, I agree with you, but I mean, I've seen Alu stone-faced in the face of incredible crowds. We'll see. I also wonder what like Finnish reality TV shows like. How do they work?
Do they exist?
I don't know. I was hungry, so I had some food. Okay, cool. All right, well, that's the end of the show. No, it's not. We're going to be going and continuing to introduce you to this plethora of talent that is scouring Katowice at the moment. In fact, Frankie is standing by. Frankie, what are you going to be up to today?
Hello! Yes, I'm going to be lurking around backstage, talking to the players that unfortunately don't make it to the semi-finals. But apparently also, they might actually let me on the big stage itself, because unfortunately OJ's not joining us till tomorrow, so I'm just going to be keeping the microphone warm for him until then. And actually, I feel a little bit emotional because I just saw the trophy going past, so I might actually go and follow it. And I'm never allowed to touch a trophy, but this one I feel like they can forgive me if I give it a hug, Alex.
Yeah, we were looking at it for a while. It is absurdly shiny.
It's absolutely massive. I think it's taller than me.
Yeah, I challenge you to try and lift it. I don't know how the players do it, because I swear it's got some kgs.
Challenge accepted, Alex.
All right, well, you go do that. We're going to continue to break this down. Thank you. That's Frankie Ward. She'll be talking to all the players and, of course, stepping onto that glorious stage that you will be seeing if you stay tuned. Now, guys, let's start at the top. If you haven't been following the major, that's fine. You've arrived for the very best bit, and we do have those brackets for you so you can understand exactly how things have shaped up. It started with the challenger stage where, of course, we saw 24 teams trying to battle it out. Then we came to the legend stage, and now we stand in the champions, and we have 2 teams going to be battling out first of all. Of course, 8 in total. You can see them there on your screens. Navi, FaZe to kick things off, and Liquid Ents later today. After that, you get to see MRBR, Renegades, and Astralis. They're all good for different reasons, Jacob.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the main focus points to take away from this bracket, that we have 4 very competitive matchups. Obviously, you have big favorites in Astralis taking on NIP, and arguably also MIBR Renegades. There's some doubt regarding that one, but all those matchups are very competitive. They could go either way, considering how the teams have been performing so far in the tournament.
Yeah, and I think when Matt summed it up very well, you know, the favorites, they got through where we expected them to do, and the best bit is they're actually painted on the opposite sides of the bracket. So the run through this, it just feels like stepping stones. Everyone gets a chance to prove themselves, and we've also had the upsets, but the Renegades and Ents proving their worth in best of 3s with deep map pools and really good Counter-Strike.
Well, really good Counter-Strike. Perhaps you might have to bite your tongue because the FaZe members themselves, they've been highly critical of their brand of Counter-Strike that they've been displaying. Sure, just about by the skin of their teeth getting to the champion stage, and they are not ashamed to admit that this hasn't been the best FaZe clan so far. So let's focus on them first as we get ready to start our first game.
Well, first of all, Robban was mostly just like motivation coach, I would say, and like kind of manager. So that was one of the reasons we wanted to have like a coach who's actually with the team trying to improve us, just basically being a sixth player. We would never want to remove Robban because he helped team a lot, but he wanted to step down as well, so that was one of the reasons why we brought YNK. He's like way more strict, he's way more into the team, and he helps a lot now with having impact once we play the tournament. So that's, I would say, the most important thing we were lacking, just the guy behind us who's gonna say, like in some close match, okay, this is the gap, this is what we should do, because he can see clearer than me or whoever in-game leader is, because once you get to the close match, you don't really see the whole picture, and that's what coach should have the best view and make the best call. After we removed Finn from the team, we just look for a player who is like very complete, who can fit in any role in the team, because that's what we needed. That's why we picked up the Adrian, because he's that guy. He's just all-around player, and obviously he's very experienced, and we know that he can help the team in many ways. We are still kind of new team. We are still trying to adapt to each other. We have just been together for 2 months, and it's still not sure what's going to happen after major, because they're like both Adrian and YNK. They're kind of on tryouts till the major. So, but it has been good so far. We didn't have any issues with neither of them. So we want to see everything after this event. We were down 0-2 at the last major, and our team was just kind of down, and that's why we just did a change of something so people can get their confidence again on their level. And yeah, Kerrigan was also not feeling very confident in calling at that time, so he also proposed to changing the in-game leader, and that worked out well for us, and we just managed to get to the playoffs, and we put up a good fight against Astralis, which we usually don't. That was like one of the few times that we played very close against them. We were actually the only team who put up a good fight on the major against them, so that's why I kept being in-game leader for the rest of the year.
A roster of incredible players, not quite so incredible results. FaZe clan, yes, they've made changes, and yes, there's some trials. What would be your take so far? You've seen them play Counter-Strike, you guys have been watching them play. These trials, how are they working out, Jacob?
I mean, so far so good, I would say. I don't think we can expect too much from FaZe coming into this one. I think people out there need to understand how tough a position it is to be on a trial basis, especially if you're a player and also a coach, because if YNK knows that he's on trial, how does he come in here and form the team? Like, how much charge does he actually take, and how much is result-based? Sure. So in that regard, he has a very tough job on his hand, but so far so good. They made it to the playoff. They actually look decent in the last